Hello everyone, I'm Michelle, a sports nutritionist, and welcome to my channel Diet Keto Lifestyle. This video is yet another series in the low carb heroes of India, and I am more than excited to have with us today Siddesh Pathre. Siddesh is a sports nutritionist himself. He is a exercise enthusiast and aspiring power lifter. So today's topic is exclusively going to be about building muscles and keto diet. And I want Siddesh to talk about it. So Siddesh, firstly, welcome and thank you for taking out the time today.
Me. And I would like to tell you that this title, Low Carb Heroes, it really appealed to me because even though I don't consider myself heroes, but people like Tim Noakes and people who really began this movement of low carb, they really went against the odds, and they really told the people of what the right thing is about nutrition. So yeah, the low carb heroes. Your title is really appealing in that sense.
Actually, we are heroes, because trying to hold this banner of low carb and saying that, what, there is another
Yeah,
way to health. I think that really is a struggle. It's a challenge. And, but there are
it is.
so many of us who are doing it, here.
Yes.
So many of us who, people like you who are into, powerlifting. We have Pallavi who's into marathon. She's an athlete. We have Shashikant, who is into helping people with diabetes. And then we have Rupal Dalal, whom I interviewed recently, who is a low carb hero for like babies, and she's
Oh,
like, hey, you
that's
know,
wonderful.
that was my last podcast, and she says, hey, the first thing that you need to give your child when once your child is 6 months after breast milk is egg with ghee.
Wow.
This day to day life, right? I mean, this
Yeah.
is where we have to like make a difference. So Siddesh, tell us about yourself, tell us about your journey into low carb and keto, and just tell our viewers about your life, more about you.
Yeah. So before I tell my about my journey into low carb, I would like to first tell about my journey into fitness, because which began in 2017. And in 2017, I remember I was a obese person. So one day, yeah, so I was having a dinner in a restaurant. It is a famous restaurant here in Mahim. So that the owner actually kind of in a joking way body shamed me. That he commented that it's a restaurant with a specialty is fish. So he commented that you should order burger and pizza. And so you seem you look like that kind of a person who has lots of burger and pizza. So I laughed it off. So and I thought to myself, it didn't hurt me that much, but I thought to myself that wow, I'm 27, 26, and this is the kind of a reaction that I'm getting from people. I should really concentrate on my health. Before that, my lifestyle was pathetic. I used to hog on junk food, and I used to drink every weekends, on weekdays also some days. So yeah, so I was in advertising. So you can imagine my lifestyle.
Great place for a
So
lifestyle.
on 2000 Jan 2017, 11 Jan 2017, I started. I took a membership in the nearby gym, and I started going there. And obviously, I did not have any knowledge regarding nutrition and all. So all that I knew was that you should eat a low calorie diet and some amount of protein. So I added like 100, 150, or 200 grams of chicken daily with my meals, and I eliminated rice because it was the conventional wisdom was that chapati is okay, but rice you should eliminate. So I used to have chapatis with chicken cooked in not oil but a spray.
Yeah.
So that spray, olive oil spray that comes. I lost, and I used to just just run, no weight training at all, because my goal was just to look thin. That was my goal at that time. So 6 months this went on, and I lost about 15 kgs, but that was fat and also muscle all as well. So what happened then after that, I started researching further, and I started lifting weights, and I started noticing a little bit of biceps and little bit of muscles on me. And one friend, he's my best friend, he commented, we met after like 6 months, and all. He commented that, dude, you have got, I can actually see biceps on you, man. What are you doing? Then I was like, oh, I should be doing something right. And again, when you see yourself transform like that, you once you were a fat person, and now you actually have some amount of muscle, it really motivates you. And that was the time when I I was hooked to weight training. So I ditched my cardio, which I used to hate any which ways. The only reason I used to do cardio was to lose weight, and I used to hate every moment, every minute of on the treadmill. I used to curse myself that why God has made me like this. Why? So I used to ask those questions while on the treadmill. But when I took to weight training, every rep and every exercise felt something else. The dopamine hit was it was something else, and I can't explain to you, but it still feels the same way when I touch when I lift heavy weights. Yeah. So I gradually started building muscles, and during that time also, as we discussed, the it was all carbohydrates. Of course, there was protein also, but to build muscle, you should be having carbohydrates, and a lot of it to gain size. So what I did, I designed a diet for myself. So I used to research on nutrition. The resources were obviously wrong, but I used to research, and there I came across that you should have 400 grams of carbohydrates to gain muscle, and the protein is to carbohydrate ratio should be 2:1. So I said, okay, so I will have 200 grams of protein and 400 grams of carbohydrates, and then I will be like one giant Hulk. So I started following that diet. So I became huge, but to be fair, the the amount of fat that I had gained was immense. So I was again an almost fat person, but with some amount of muscle. Okay, so this was the time, and I had heard about the ketogenic diet, and I had heard about it, but I thought that it is just a fad like everyone else thinks today. It is just a fad, and having so much amount of fats and saturated fat in your diet can lead to cholesterol issues and heart diseases. So I thought it is as a dangerous diet, and so while I was having 400 grams of carbohydrates, I used no oil in my food. It was the same spray. Okay, and the fats that I used to take was from a drizzling of olive oil or some nuts. That's it. No butter, no ghee, no anything. So I had shunned those food products from my diet. So yeah, I had gained so in the gaining period, which is the high carb period for a bodybuilder, I gained a lot of not muscle but fat. Obviously, some amount of muscle I gained, but mostly it was fat. And then I thought, this is too much. Now I have to reduce it and do it as quickly as possible. So because I wanted to reduce it as quickly as possible, I thought of giving the ketogenic diet a try. So I used to suffer from irritable bowel syndrome, which I don't now. So my only fear when I started when I was going to try the ketogenic diet was that so in the ketogenic diet, obviously you eliminate grains and fruits and fiber from your most fiber is eliminated. So I was in the fear that if I eliminate the fiber, the my IBS symptoms would get worse, and it will be difficult for me. But my willpower, when you start the fitness lifestyle and when you start lifting, your willpower really goes up, and you think that when you decide to do something, you end up doing it. So that was the same thing I thought before starting the ketogenic diet, that even if I get constipated for like 5 days, I'm not going to give up, and I will lose the fat that I have gained. And I started it, and the ketogenic diet, it was flawed. It was very much flawed. Now that I know about it, now that I look back, it was just a horrible ketogenic diet that I followed. But there is this famous YouTuber that I follow, which I won't name, but he's quite famous and he has a lot of followers. So he had put up a video on the ketogenic diet, and he had given a sample ketogenic diet. So I followed that, and so um, the problem with that ketogenic diet was that there were no saturated fat. It was just olive oil and nuts, and some amount of spinach, and your grilled chicken. So I used to have that every day. So starting days were horrible. So in the evenings I used to get terrible headaches, and I used to feel low and very sleepy. Now I know it was because of lack of salt, but then I pushed through it because I just had to lose the weight that I had gained. But the flip side and the positive side that I noticed was that my IBS symptoms actually got away. So my symptoms went, not all, but some of the symptoms went away. And also my performance in the gym didn't affect the performance in my gym. So from directly from a high carbohydrate approach, I went to zero carb, and I didn't see any dip in my performance. And also my IBS symptoms went away. So I started researching more on this kind of a nutrition, and I came across Tim Noakes, Sean Baker, and various other famous people who are into who promote ketogenic lifestyle. And even YouTubers like Thomas DeLauer, his videos really helped me understanding the science behind the ketogenic diet. So and it was and I was reading, researching, and I was experiencing also at the same time, and I was correlating the research and findings with my experience. Yeah, oh, this happened, this also happened to me, this also happened to me. No more and when I became completely fat adapted, it was a great experience. But I did not become fat adapted on that olive oil diet. I changed my diet after I researched. So I started adding more saturated fat, more ghee, more butter. I used to cook my meal. I used to have butter chicken every day. So from grilled chicken to butter chicken, and I used to love it. And my cravings for sweet things and carbohydrates completely stopped. And then I thought, so let me tell you that almost more than half of my day I keep researching on exercise or nutrition. So that was the case then also. And then I thought, if I'm investing so much time on this, I should get certified from a credible institute. And that is when K11's entry in my life is also is very interesting, because I remember it was 12 o'clock in the night, and I was researching on ketogenic nutrition. And Kaizad sir's, it was a 2-minute video. Somebody, he was in his nutrition lectures, and somebody had just recorded him and put it on internet, and it was just a 2-minute video. And you obviously, you know how he speaks. When he speaks, you just can't help but listen to him. And I was so impressed with this man. I started watching all of his videos, past videos, and there was this documentary on the ketogenic diet on YouTube, which he's a part of. And I was completely sold. I was completely sold to him, and I said, if I'm doing any nutrition course, then it has to be K11. So, and I joined K11, and rest is history now. So then actually I was about to discontinue my ketogenic diet before joining K11, just because that now I again wanted to get back into gaining phase, and without carbohydrates you can't gain muscle. So but when I enrolled in K11, so we were told not to change our. So I told them that I'm on a high fat diet now, but I'm thinking of going to a carbohydrate diet again. So I was actually told, don't do it right now. Uh, Attend all the lectures and then decide. And then I attended all the lectures. Then Kaizad sir's lectures also I attended, and then I was like, I'm come what may, I'm not leaving this lifestyle, because it has helped me cure my IBS. So that was actually a big trouble in my life. So my IBS began in school, and it was really I have suffered worse days because of my IBS. So that was cured. I thought, why to again include carbohydrate and again go through that pain. So yeah, that was the base. That is basically my journey into the low carbohydrate diet.
Excellent. That has been a very interesting journey. So it's really nice to see how you moved from a high carb to a high carb, low fat to
Yeah,
a high fat, almost low calorie keto diet. And that's the reason I always say, and I think this is an excellent example that you are giving, is that I always say that please consult a nutritionist,
yes,
because you really don't know, even now when we are discussing, and we say, okay, you go low carb, but what exactly low carb? And most people, when they do low carb, they go low calorie, because
yes,
the
yes.
fear of fat and the fear of protein
Fear
is
of
not
calorie.
going anywhere, so
Yeah,
nobody is counseling you on that. But then you are saying, acha, low carb, so grains निकाल दिया तो वो oil भी निकल गया, and
yeah,
you may switch your oils, and but you will still add a teaspoon of butter and maybe half teaspoon of ghee. Most people
yeah,
do that, and then they don't see results, or they see results but they lose weight, but they also lose their health. And
yeah,
for the willpower and your age, like you said, your willpower actually helped you to go through this. But
yeah.
most people just give up in that phase. I mean, of course, K11 is doing such an excellent job, and I am so proud of K11. I am so proud of Kezat Kapadia. It really needs that spirit and that courage to stand in between this industry and say that no,
Yes, yes,
I will teach low carb and I will teach keto. And he
yes,
himself says this, he says that I have seen the ill effects and I'm still experiencing the ill effects of the carbs that I have, that he has had in his life,
yeah,
right? And I don't want you to go through that, right? So he says that there was a time when I used to say that, okay, have high carb. But today I am saying no. don't do it. And it really needs that kind of courage, because
Yes.
he's in the industry, he has so many institutes, but he's not bothered what people are going to say. And he always says, these are not my thoughts. I'm not saying it because today I feel like changing my mind. I'm saying it because there is science to support it. And
Yes.
such an excellent job they are doing by educating, and it always happens, that what we read online is more than enough maybe for to help us understand, but then implementation and the science behind it is extremely important, so people keep saying, and we have heard this time and again, that carbohydrate is essential for muscle building, because carbs will spike insulin. Insulin is anabolic, and hence you do need carbohydrates to build muscles. So, what do you have to say? In the end, do we need carbohydrate to build muscle?
So the carbohydrates got this importance in the body, or an athlete's life in the recent past 2 decades, I guess. If you see during the Arnold era, or before that, during there was a guy named Vince Gironda. He basically promoted a carnivore kind of a diet for his bodybuilder athletes. So there were no carbs. So he gave them carbs, but those carbs were only like 2 times a week. So most of the diet he promoted was steak and eggs, steak and eggs, steak and eggs, and there was no whey protein at that time. So they really used to rely on whole foods,
Right.
like steak, egg, whole eggs, and they used to have whole eggs at that time, no egg whites. They used to have whole eggs. And this guy Vince Gironda really promoted, and he has trained Arnold and many other legendary bodybuilders. So he actually used to promote this kind of a diet. The reason carbohydrates got their importance in the recent times, my conjecture is that because of the introduction of anabolic likes like HGH and IGF-1, they sort of and insulin. So bodybuilders take insulin. So if you take insulin externally, you tend to lower your blood glucose levels. So you tend to go in an hypoglycemic shock if you don't have enough carbohydrates. So they used to have carbohydrates to manage that insulin that they used to take exogenously, not the other way around. So it was that. And insulin, of course, is an anabolic hormone. And another thing why carbohydrates are given importance is because of the role of muscle glycogen during heavy weight training. But these two things are absolutely not backed by science, because the insulin response that you need to build muscle is fulfilled by having protein alone. So protein, as you know, also induces an insulin response, and it is more than enough to stimulate muscle protein synthesis. And also another factor in stimulating muscle protein synthesis is leucine, which again is an amino acid and which comes from protein. So scientifically and physiologically, you don't need carbohydrates to induce muscle protein synthesis. And also, if you're fat adapted, you tend to your body tend to so the ketones that you produce, they spare leucine, an amino acid, and you actually get more benefits of in terms of muscle protein synthesis. And for the glycogen needs, uh, the glycogen that you the gluconeogenesis that takes place from the protein and from the glycerol backbone of the fat is more than enough to replenish your glycogen stores. It is there. You replenish your glycogen stores when you have a ketogenic or a carnivore kind of a diet. And the fascinating thing is, when you start getting fat adapted, your body actually uses glycogen in a more efficient way. So there are studies which show that when a fat adapted athlete and a glucose adapted athlete, when they perform the same kind of activity at the same level, uh, the glycogen depletion of the fat adapted athlete is much lesser than that of a glucose adapted athletes. Now what this tells you, that you become more efficient in burning fat for energy, and you become more efficient in efficiently using glycogen.
Right.
So for example, for if I'm doing 8 reps of squat, then in a fat adapted state, then I won't be needing, or my body won't be using that much amount of glycogen as I used to use when I was having carbohydrates as my
Right.
primary energy source.
Right. So you mentioned some studies here. I'm a big fan of Ryan Lowry, and this is one of a study which is really good, because you mentioned leucine, and so you know he has this lab, he has this place where he does a lot of study with athletes, with sports performance, also with mental health, etc. So they did this study where they took two groups, and they gave them 20% calories from protein, and one group was high carb and one group was keto, well formulated
Okay.
ketogenic diet, and they trained them for 8 weeks. At the end of the period, they did a DEXA scan to see what's the lean body mass, and they found no difference between the high carb group and the keto group, which means both of them were able to build
Yeah.
muscles at the same rate, right?
Yeah.
So they did a further study to see muscle protein synthesis and breakdown. And so what he is saying is that we know that ketones themselves prevent the breakdown, you know, like leucine, which is the most important amino acid for maintenance of muscle. Now, when we see an elevated level of ketones in the body, that probably makes the case that we need lesser amount of protein to build the same kind of muscle when on a ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a very fascinating point that he has made, you
Yeah.
know, and also for our
Yeah.
viewers, you know, where you are saying that. So basically what you are trying to say is that you yourself have experienced this, you know, that when you are fat adapted, you know, you do not need maybe the kind of protein that you needed, but you are also able to perform better. Of course, there is a lot of study that Dr. Jeff Pollack has done. They took these two groups of endurance athletes, and one group was fat adapted and one group was on a high carb. So this other fat adapted group was between a range of 9 months to 24 months, like an average of 20 months. And they saw, so they did muscle biopsies, you know, after their endurance run. They gave them they gave the keto group fat shake with less than 6% carbs, and they gave the other group a carb shake, and they said that the keto group did not suffer in terms of glycogen regeneration, you know. So they were able to, because this is another one point, you know, like, and that brings me to the part that post workout meals, you know, we say that, oh, you know, like, we may not be able to regenerate the glycogen, so we need carbohydrates. But then there is this study, and they have done these with really good endurance athletes, you know. For our viewers, is that you had carbs and protein. There was a phase when you had carbs and proteins, and yes, you were able to perform and lift weight, and you were building muscles also, but with that you did put on a lot of fat, you know. And we have seen this, and we see this time and again with people who are mostly, you walk into a gym and you're able to see this, you know. People have belly fat, but they also have muscles.
Yeah.
You know. So so with carbs we are putting on fat, you know.
Yeah.
Of course protein is there and it is playing its role, but then with carb you're putting on fat, and if you're fat and you are having muscle, you are not healthy. Your health is getting affected, you know, which in the long run is a very big issue. You know, when you're younger, maybe you'll be able to get through it, you know. So what does your diet look like now that you're a nutritionist, you are also training other people, you yourself are training, right? So when you're saying powerlifting, you know, you really need that energy, and you know, most people will say you will not get it without carbs. So
Yeah.
what's your diet like, and what's, what does it
So
look like to support it
my
for?
diet is extremely simple. Just two ingredients, meat and eggs, and I have around 1 kg of meat, red meat, every day. Sometimes if I feel hungry, then I might have six whole eggs. Sometimes the eggs go up to 10. So now I eat according to my hunger. So if I'm feeling, sometimes if I don't work out for a couple of days, then I don't feel like eating. So at that time, my intake of meat drastically goes down. So like I get full, I get satiated in half kg meat itself. So, but typically, on an average, I consume around 1 kg of red meat with some eggs cooked in ghee and butter and cooked in all kinds of masalas. So there is no stopping, so there is no restriction there, and no cooking spray this time. That has been thrown away. So now it's legit ghee and butter. So now it's the real thing.
So for our viewers who are into weight training, who are building muscles, or a common person who is going to gym, who aspires to build muscles and just lift heavy, what diet would you recommend for them?
So I would recommend them, if he is a beginner, he can start with a ketogenic kind of a diet, become fat adapted, and then go to the gym. Because now I was able to perform because I had training experience with me. So 1 year of training experience I had. So that's why I was able to perform in spite of starting the ketogenic diet first time. But if you're a beginner, and if you're an overweight person, and if you start your ketogenic diet, and you start you start going to the gym on the very first day, so it is again up to you and your willpower, but you might end up with low energy,
Right,
and low salt levels.
right,
But my recommendation is become fat adapted for at least 2 weeks.
correct,
So in 2 weeks you can. So in my experience, 1 week is all it takes for a person
right,
if he's on a well formulated ketogenic diet, if he's
right.
having his salt, and if he's having his saturated fat,
Electrolytes
then
and fats.
yeah, electrolytes and everything. So he gets fat adapted in like 1 week. So 2 weeks that person can wait, and then start his weight training. So that is for beginners. And for the people who have been training for a long time, they can switch to ketogenic diet and train the way they are. It's initially, so in my case this didn't happen, but this has been observed that when you start a ketogenic kind of a life, and your body is switching to energy substrates, your performance might get hampered. And if you are an elite level athlete, your performance will get noticeably hampered. If you're an intermediate, or if your training experience is like 2-3 years, then you won't see any difference in your performance. Just minute differences, but those will go away
Right, right.
in matter of time.
Who have moved from a low carb and a keto to a carnivore
To
lifestyle.
a carnivore.
So, but then for our viewers who have been training for quite some time, and weight loss is not the thing, but there is always that extra fat that has come with the muscles. So they, you are saying, can immediately switch to a keto diet
Yeah,
from, of course, take advice from a proper nutritionist,
yeah,
from a
yeah,
proper
yeah,
low carb keto nutritionist, so that your
yeah,
electrolytes are balanced,
yeah.
and
So that is the most important thing, and that mistakes I made when I first started the ketogenic diet. I was not paying attention to my salt intake. and my fat was coming from olive oil, so it was not saturated fat.
Right.
So yeah.
Right, right. So, what are the protein sources for them that you would suggest? And if they are having carbs, then what are the carb sources and what are the fat sources that they should uh, consider?
So fat sources should be it should be ghee, butter, coconut oil, all kind of saturated fat. If they are having animal fat, then bacon fat or beef tallow is a great source. But in India, mostly people don't consume this. They go for ghee and butter. So fats, ghee, and cook all your meals in ghee and butter. And for protein, if you can have red meat every day, I would say that swap your chicken with red meat. So this why I'm saying this is that so gradually from a ketogenic diet, when I so I made this shift to a carnivore kind of diet an year ago. And I started having so I swapped my chicken with red meat, and I completely eliminated all the vegetables from my diet. So this was gradually done. So I used to have vegetables, and I eliminated the fiber from my diet very gradually, so that I don't suffer from any gastric distress. So I did it very gradually, and so what I ended up having was I used to have at that time I used to have around half kg of red meat every day with some bone broth cooked in cream and some eggs. So the moment I introduced red meat in my diet, the muscle quality and my strength, it was like a nitrous oxide boost to my performance and to my muscle growth. I was seriously shocked. So I used to carry muscle obviously, but I could see difference. So usually you can't see when you are gaining muscles. It is a so long process that you can't see yourself progressing in the when you see in the mirror. But I could actually see myself progressing. I could actually see definitions of muscles coming where there weren't any, and it actually surprised and it actually shocked me. And this was only possible because of the inclusion of red meat in my diet. And again, as I was fat adapted, I had my energy levels were already high. My my IBS has had completely gone. And when I used to wake up, I used to feel very different. I used to feel very energetic when I used to get up in the morning. So these factors were there, but the uh, the recovery that I got from the carnivore diet by adding red meat in my diet, and the kind of muscle and the kind of strength that I gained from including red meat was at another level. So if you can include red meat, please include red meat. Then otherwise you have options like chicken, fish, and for vegetarians, paneer is there. And
Whey
for
protein.
carbohydrates, yeah, whey protein is I have completely stopped having whey protein now, because 1 kg meat you don't need extra supplement. So that goes from my mind. I that usually when I count my protein sources. But yeah, whey protein is an extremely good source of protein. If you are a vegetarian, then it helps tremendously in muscle protein synthesis and keeping your protein intake high. So, and for carb intake, so obviously we don't have any grains. The carbs that you have will be coming from your fibrous vegetables, green vegetables. So yeah, carbs will be coming from there. But don't chase carbs. Chase fats and chase protein.
Right, right, right. I completely agree with you here, because it's so important because that whole carb addiction is there since you have been consuming so much of carbs. So even if you have been told that you only have to have 30 grams of carbs, you're like looking, okay, where am I going to get that 30
yeah,
grams from?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that was a very excellent point, saying that don't
So,
chase your carbs.
so this will sound funny, but there are some clients that look that show me that this on two pieces of bread or one piece of bread has only 15 grams of carbs. So I can have, as I'm allowed to have 30 grams of carbs. I have to explain them the it is not the amount, but insulin and
Right.
other factors
So there is
depending
no
on
such
what.
thing as one slice of bread.
Yeah, yeah,
You
definitely.
know, that one slice calls for another and then it calls for
Yeah,
another, you know.
absolutely.
So you've said that on days that you're not training, you're not very hungry. Now, with people who are into weight training, there is always this fear that if they don't eat, they are going to lose muscle, you know. And this brings us to the point of intermittent fasting, uh, which goes hand in hand with keto and low carb diet, because the moment we are fat adapted, we are using fat for fuel, our requirement for frequent meals goes away, and we intentionally and unintentionally do tend to do
Yeah.
intermittent fasting, right? So, but especially with people who are weight training, you know, just normal people, someone next door who is going to the gym, lifting weights, they are so scared of not eating that, you know, the first thing that they do, they get up in the morning and they eat. So what is it, I
I,
mean,
I,
about
I used to do
yeah,
that.
I also used to do that. You know, I have my own weight loss journey, and you know, I've almost followed all diets through my stage of PCOS and being insulin resistant and overweight and stuff like that. So right, but then for especially for the ones who are weight training, what is your advice to them? Will they lose muscle if they don't eat? Can they fast? Do you fast? What's your take on intermittent fasting?
I do fast on some days, but that is not intentional, as you say. It is just that if I'm busy with some work, I don't eat and I directly eat in the evening. Or if I'm not doing anything and if I'm hungry, then I will eat. So I do it as per my hunger signals. But I also support intermittent fasting. See, intermittent fasting, you can't lose muscles simply because of the two things that one thing that we discussed earlier. That is, if you are fat adapted, then the ketones that your body produces, they preserve leucine, and leucine is needed for muscle protein synthesis.
Right.
Then also, when you intermittent fast, the reason why your growth hormone levels rise is to preserve those muscles. So your body is very intelligent. It treats muscle as something very important, and
Precious.
it will easily give it away. So when you are not eating, the reason why your HGH levels, HGH is growth hormone levels, rise, they rise to protect those muscles. And even if you fast for prolonged time, and even if you lose even if your body starts catabolizing muscles, the level that growth hormone ensures that lost muscle is built back very quickly.
Wow.
So the GH is not there is another myth that if you intermittent fast, then your growth hormone levels will be high, and you will be getting benefits of having an exogenous growth hormone, and you will see big gains in your muscles. That is also not true. The growth hormone levels that increase in your body because of fasting is to preserve your existing muscle,
Right.
not to build new muscle. Be- So no reason to fear fasting. In fact, you should every person should try fasting. It has lots and lots of benefits attached to it.
Right. And I always like to say this because I am a very big proponent of fasting. That has been a very big part of my journey, and even now. And I always say, like you mentioned time and again in this podcast today, first get fat adapted, then try
Yeah.
fasting. I remember when I was on a high carb diet, I had read this article which said, it was some newsletter, some random, I was subscribed everywhere. I got this newsletter which said skip breakfast to lose weight. So that night I decided ki kal subah to I'm not going to have breakfast. And I was so hungry in the morning, when I got up, the whole thought of not eating a breakfast, I must have had breakfast like more than 2 times that day. And I said, damn, I can't do this, you know. But
Yeah.
then, you go low carb, you get fat adapted, and, then you start with your fasting. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, you know,
That is very important.
right. So also, like my son is 16 now, and last whole year, because he was in his 10th standard, his school football training used to be in the morning, and he used to go empty stomach like at 5, and then he used to like train till 7. And after that he would, I mostly used to give him whey protein. I give him whey protein since he was like 10, 11, I think. And he's like you, he's an almost carnivore.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not compulsion, of course. Carnivore is never a compulsion, but like you said, get fat adapted and then try fasting, and do not fear. You've explained it very well, like why not to fear muscle loss when you are fasting. This I am asking because a lot of people who want to build muscle, and we have seen this, and mostly these are young, mostly young people, young boys, who are like very thin and they really want to build muscle, and then they come and they have these gainers. And I have seen this myself, within 3 months you cannot recognize that person, but he is fat.
Yeah.
And I feel so sorry because that age, at that age, such high amount. So what's what's your take on gainers, the high
So
carb
gain.
gainers, and
Yeah.
what do you recommend uh, for someone who wants to build muscle, someone who's very thin, who really wants to build muscle, who really wants to get into weight training? How will keto help them?
So first of all, gainers, they have a lot of so one serving has around 300 to 400 grams of carbohydrates in it. And so some gainers have this kind of carbohydrate, and they will end up having only 50 to 60 grams of protein. The protein is to carbohydrate ratio is so bad. So obviously, anyone, even if the individual is tremendously insulin sensitive, he will also end up
Right.
gaining fat. And that, unfortunately, the mass he gains is not muscle. It is all fat. It is just that his t-shirts are filled, more filled right now, and he feels good about himself. That is a false impression that falls upon the poor guy, because firstly, because he's very young to understand what is healthy weight gain and what is unhealthy weight gain. So I am completely against. So even when I was having high carbohydrate diet, I was that time I was also that even that time I was against mass gainers, because it is all and the carbohydrates are
Right.
very cheap
And highly
carbohydrates are
processed.
highly processed, so it will spike your blood sugar levels, and it will create a metabolic mess in your body. For hard gainers, as you call, so every person is a hard gainer when it comes to muscle. So even I was a hard gainer, but I was fat. My t-shirts used to be filled, but it used to be filled with fat and not muscles. So the problem with these thin kids is that they don't have enough fat and they don't have muscle as well. And every person needs some time to build muscle. It is even if you follow a ketogenic diet from beginning, and as I said, protein, enough protein is enough for to elicit that insulin response
Right.
and to trigger muscle protein synthesis. The only thing that I would suggest for this person is to have meals frequently. Even if he's on a ketogenic diet, have your meals frequently, because there is something known as mTOR in your body, which stimulates muscle protein synthesis, and which is the key to muscle protein synthesis basically. So without stimulating mTOR, you cannot have muscle protein synthesis, and the mTOR is only stimulated when you have food. Okay, so for this person I would recommend him same amount of protein and fat as per his need, but I will divide that protein in several meals
Right.
and not just two or three, because he needs more mTOR in him to stimulate growth. And even for an athlete, even for me, when I'm trying to consciously add on more muscle, I I have same amount of meat, 1 kg red meat I have. So now I'm on a maintenance. I'm not looking for more muscle building as of now. So now I have 2 meals or 3 meals. But when I'm consciously trying to gain muscle, I will have around 4 to 5 meals.
Okay.
So to stimulate mTOR. So that is so instead of having gainers or instead of having stupid supplements, that person should have meals frequently, same quantity, same quality, but more frequent
So
in
keto
throughout the
meals,
day.
which is your high protein, high
Yeah,
fat, and your carbohydrates come from your vegetables
yeah,
for fillers.
yeah.
Excellent.
And so around 20 grams of protein per meal. So 2.5 grams leucine is needed for stimulating muscle protein synthesis. So each meal can have about 20 to 25 grams of protein, which can come from chicken if he's a vegetarian, then paneer. If he's a meat eater, then red meat.
Right. And eggs, of course. I mean,
Yeah, of
I
course.
think, of course, there are eggs. Right, right. So, what's next for you, Siddesh? Now, you are one of the carnivores of India, and there was an excellent podcast that you did with Sean Baker. My son is a big Sean Baker and Ted Naiman fan.
Great, great.
So he also saw that podcast. So so what's next for you? What are your plans?
So as of now, so my diet is in place now. So beyond carnivore, I don't think there is anything. So I'm now concentrating more on my strength levels and muscle building, and because I don't really because I'm so fat adapted, and I'm so enjoying the carnivore lifestyle. I'm not making any changes anytime. Throughout, I'm going to follow the carnivore lifestyle, and
But
things now I'm
but we will
concentrating
see more lifting videos from you. Yes.
more lifting and strength gaining.
Great, great, excellent.
And if God permits, then you might see me competing.
Wow.
All
All the best to you. So, Siddesh, where can people connect with you?
so
How can they reach
I'm
you?
on Instagram. So my ID is Siddesh Patre dot Patre. So SIDDHESH dot PATHRE. Twitter @Patre Siddesh. So and yeah, so these two places I'm mostly active. Not much on Facebook, but yeah, Instagram and Twitter I'm fairly active. So they can
Great.
connect with me over there.
Great. So, thank you so much, Siddesh, for taking out the time. And as last, any advice you would like to give our viewers who are all the gyms are now going to be opening again in Mumbai, and we are all going to head back to the gyms and make up for all the time that we have lost. But what's your advice to people who are out
This
there
is
building muscle?
this is an advice that I give everyone, and I myself believe in that. So we humans were both strong and intelligent when we evolved. Okay, but in the later years, we focused only on intelligence, and we kind of moved away from strength. But I encourage everyone to hit the gym. Every no matter the age, no matter your sex, you should be hitting the gym at least for an hour
Right.
and work on your strength, and you should hit the gym not to lose weight, or to be, so that is secondary. Even muscle gaining for me in the gym is secondary. That will happen on its own, but the your focus should be to become stronger and to become a better performer than you were yesterday. So to become a better version of yourself, day by day. That is the advice that I give everyone, to work on your strength. That will make you a complete human being.
Right. And use a low carb keto diet to support
Yeah, that is a given.
Right, right. So, to all our viewers, thank you for watching. The link to Siddesh's Instagram and Twitter handle will be in the show notes below. Do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. In the comments, let us know your feedback. You can reach out to Siddesh, you can reach out to me. And Siddesh, thank you so much. And I hope to have more sessions with you where we can cover more topics in details. And through your
Absolutely.
through your journey, you are really a low carb hero of India. So I am so proud that you are out there doing such great work. And I hope you inspire a lot of people. So all the best to your lifting journey as well. And
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.